morning, good afternoon, good evening. Zimbabwe is a failed state. That is the political reality we must deal with. We had the misfortune of having Zanu PF, a political party that has believed that they have the divine right to govern the country. What we cannot escape, however, is also the political reality that after 44 years of independence, the nation definitely has had many opportunities to end the Zanu PF dictatorship. The question that must therefore be asked is, why have we failed to make the most of it? There is no doubt that the golden opportunity to end the Zanu PF dictatorship was during the 2008 to 2013 GNU, where SADC, credit where credit is due, had forced Zanu PF to sign the 2008 Global Political Agreement that gave birth to the GNU. The primary purpose of the GNU was to implement the democratic reforms which would have stopped Zanu PF rigging the elections. The question, therefore, one must ask is, why did we fail to make the most of that opportunity? The explanation for it is simple. We had the MDC opposition who have proven to be corrupt, incompetent, and utterly useless. The primary purpose of the MDC was to implement the democratic reforms. The party name itself says that they were the movement for democratic change. They were launched in 1999. And up to date, they failed to implement even one token reform. People must ask themselves, why have they failed to implement any reforms? Because as long as we have got this commitment that we can change, we can end this Zanu PF dictatorship by implementing reforms, then we have to seriously look into getting an opposition that will implement those reforms. It is a pity that many Zimbabweans out there have failed to see that. And hence we've been going round and round in circles. Here is one platform, Gambakwe. His support of Chamisa has been total. His support of the opposition has been total to the point of brainwashing the people. Here is his latest when he's talking of Chamisa. We just listen to a short clip of it.
I think Nelson Chamisa is forming a political party. He's going to form a political party, but it's not going to be a traditional political party. He's going to base it on religious formations or religious churches or pastors. There's going to be a lot of pastors in it. This was clear to me when I looked here. There were a lot of pastors coming from different places. The organizers were mostly pastors, and pastors rarely move away from their leader. When you see pastors moving away from their leader, they are now rogue. And pastors can control their congregations. So the pastors are like chiefs. So a pastor can tell a congregation, all of you come here, and they'll come. Or all of you vote here, they'll vote. So from a strategy point of view, I think Nelson Chamisa has got the right strategy. He wants people who are going to fall under a structure, but that structure won't be political. It will be more of a religious structure. So look forward to more of the religious structure from Nelson Chamisa and less to the political structure. However, these two guys here are going to play a key role. And I think you can also see that Advocate Zanu PF is not here. I was expecting him to be very prominent as a person close to Nelson Chamisa. And also, remember, there was that rumor in the past that he was going to be the vice president of Chamisa's party. We get information from many different people. And he even made a statement. He stepped down from his work, and we thought that he was getting ready to become Chamisa's vice. But it's clear to me that these two guys here are going to be very key in whatever Nelson Chamisa is going to form.
Well, we don't want to go too much into any of that. What is important here, and what I would like to emphasize, is that we have got an opposition that has failed to deliver. And our friend here, Gambakwe, is one of those who is in the habit of making a mountain out of a molehill. The issue he mentions here, for instance, which he is praising, that Chamisa is surrounding himself with pastors, so they become like chiefs. I thought the whole point of having a healthy and functioning democracy was that we should educate the people. Do we really want an electorate that will be told, you vote here, and they'll do so? Which is true. We've seen it happen in some of these churches. Both Mnangagwa and Chamisa have quoted the churches precisely for that reason, that the church followers are like sheep. If they are told to vote, to support Zanu PF, they will do so. If they are told to support the opposition, they will do so blindly. That is exactly what we don't want. We need an electorate that is educated, knowledgeable, diligent. That is the only way we're going to have a healthy and functioning democracy. And for somebody to be brainwashing people into believing that an electorate that is told, that follows blindly, is what the nation wants, is shocking, to say the least. We should not forget who Nelson Chamisa is and what Nelson Chamisa did. Nelson Chamisa conned the people of Zimbabwe to participate in the 2018 elections on the basis that MDC alliance had stringent measures to stop Zanu PF rigging the elections. He was lying. Indeed, as I referred earlier on, the best opportunity to end Zanu PF's dictatorship was during the GNU, When the MDC leaders realized they had failed to implement any reforms, they abandoned reforms and started telling their followers they could win rigged elections. This is, of course, an idiotic nonsense. The elections in Zimbabwe are so flawed that you cannot win. And we've seen that happen again and again and again. Zanu PF has failed to produce, for instance, a verified voters roll. How can you have a meaningful election without a verified voters roll? And yet this is the path that the opposition, since the GNU, have been taking us. They have lied to the people again and again that they can win rigged elections. Last year, Chamisa told the nation that he had plugged all the vote rigging loopholes. Of course, it was a lie. He had not done any such thing. And yet people believed him. And they participated in those elections in their millions, giving Zanu PF legitimacy. We cannot pretend that we do not have a problem. We have a problem here. And it's a serious problem. Chamisa insisted that he has been quoting, he is maybe a hotline to God, because one of his habits is God is in it. And according to Gambakwe here, if he's going to form a party with a lot of church leaders in it, I think we are looking at a situation here where that issue is going to be pushed even harder, the religious side of it. The truth of the matter is, Chamisa has been lying about God being in it. Here is Chamisa making a similar claim for the 2013 elections.
Makorokoto Zimbabwe nokuti hakuna munhu anomira kana denga raronga plan. Denga raronga plan, denga harifo iri. Plan yaMwari haifo iri. Ini ndatanga kugadzira cabinet. There is no way we are not going to form a new cabinet. There is no way we are not going to have a celebration. There is no way we are not going to have an inauguration. Let's start preparing for our inauguration. Let's start preparing for our celebration.
Of course, Chamisa was lying. God was not in it. He claimed that CCC was going to win big. It did not. He claimed that he had plugged all the vote rigging loopholes. He knew he was lying. I think the failure by Zimbabweans to see Chamisa for who he is, just another corrupt, incompetent, and in Chamisa's case, a lying leader, is one at the very heart of why Zimbabwe has failed to implement those reforms to stop Zanu PF rigging the elections. Here is BBC taking Chamisa to task on that very issue of lying.
Ende patakasangana na Trump akatibvunza nawo akomana mari yamuri kuda kuti nyika ifambe imari.
Serious questions were raised about your behaviour in Washington, D.C. You did see some senior people on Capitol Hill, some Congress people, but you also claimed that you'd seen Donald Trump. You claimed you had a conversation with him in which you said he asked you how much you needed to move the country forward. You told him $15 billion, and he said to you that he would provide the money if you won the election. That was not true, was it?
Sangana na Trump akatibvunza kuti nawe akomana mari yamuri kuda kuti nyika ifambe imari.
It was not true that you'd seen Donald Trump and that Donald Trump indicated to you that he would provide, if you won the election,
But
$15 billion.
All those statements were said by other people, not what I said.
Akasangana na Trump akatibvunza kuti nawe akomana mari yamuri kuda kuti nyika ifambe imari.
Well, no, because there is a video which shows you at a rally in January back home in Zimbabwe saying that Donald Trump had pretty much promised you $15 billion. To be clear, because some people in Zimbabwe are still confused, you're now telling me you did not meet Donald Trump.
We did not.
What we are facing here in Zimbabwe is a situation where we are failing to hold our leaders to account. Chamisa has been lying to the people of Zimbabwe. Chamisa lied when he said he was going to win the 2023 elections. He knew that participating will give Zanu PF legitimacy. And that is exactly what happened. The American President Abraham Lincoln once said that you can fool all the people some of the time, and some of the people all the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. I think in Zimbabwe, we can safely say that Chamisa has fooled millions of people many times. The reason why SADC did not deny Zanu PF political legitimacy is because 2 million Zimbabweans had participated in the flawed elections in 2023. And as long as people continue participating in these flawed elections, believe you me, SADC is not going to deny Zanu PF political legitimacy. That is a reality that we have got to accept. That is a reality that we must accept. We can stop this Zanu PF dictatorship. And the solution is there. We have got to stop participating in flawed elections to give the process legitimacy. That is obvious. And yet we do not want to accept it. We are refusing to accept it because we are easily conned. And as long as people like Chamisa con us again and again, we will pay the price for it. I think after 44 years of rigged elections, that anyone can be so easily conned into believing that the opposition can win rigged elections beggars belief. They really beggars belief. And yet, I think we all know that come 2028, Chamisa will be making the same idiotic claims that he's going to win big. And Zimbabweans will participate in those flawed elections in their millions. We are our own worst enemy because we have allowed ourselves to be conned in our millions, even after 44 years. Thank you very much for those of you able to join. Hope you'll be able to join us again this evening at 6 o'clock UK time, 8 o'clock Zimbabwean time. Have a good day.